right, everybody, we want to demand legislation that punishes criminals and defends victims. However, what we have going on, according to a quote by Ronald Reagan in this book, is that the problem of crime demands that we seek transformation of our legal system, which overly protects the rights of criminals while it leaves society and the innocent victims of crime without justice. And that's where we are with Mona Van and all your whores. From Drew Barrymore to Jessica Alba to Mona Van to Melissa Wood and the rest of you, that is where we are in today's society. An innocent victim and still without justice, while you still continuously produce content to brag about while you do drugs, which is slinging your vagina in everyone's face, while preying on us with your Hollywood smile. With your narcissist behavior of dancing in the streets and waving your arms in the air and acting as if that's education. While you then punish this innocent victim over here by community guidelining me and silencing my voice, literally, while I'm still talking. I'm speaking. I'm speaking. I'm speaking. And let's not forget about what our current judicial system has done to Donald Trump. While you, as citizens of the U.S., take the side of a criminal, no, an actual violent criminal, and telling us our democracy is at risk? I think our democracy is at risk because Kamala Harris released criminals and they stood on the stage at the DNC. That's why our democracy is at risk. Meaning you're not going to be able to go down the street and feel safe. You're not safe with your neighbor if they have a Kamala Harris sign in their yard because they think they're better than you. Imagine that. Your neighbor's a Kamala Harris supporter and she thinks you're better than you. So you're both the same skin color. Your lawn is mowed and her lawn and her grass is this tall. But she's going to sit on her lawn and tell me how I'm supposed to feel and how I'm supposed to think. Because there's an expectation without being spoken out loud when it comes to Donald Trump to follow law and order. But she wants to be able to use her feelings to control you. Not law and order. And that's the democracy they speak to when they talk about democracies at stake. Create truth in sentencing guidelines to require violent felons to serve at least 80% of their sentences. Demanding legislation that punishes criminals and defends its victims. You have about 6% of the criminals committing 70% of the violent crimes and serving only about a third of their sentences nationwide. And that's back in the 90s, 95. So it's definitely gotten worse. As we know, Kamala Harris put small criminals of marijuana, which is now legal in the state, in prison for how many years? Which means she doesn't know what she's doing. Yeah, they don't want to bring that up because it makes her look like a bad person. And then she wants to let out major violent offenders and then protect those like Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd. Tell me how that protects the victims. Limit the ability of judges to suspend sentences or run sentences concurrently. When a criminal can serve concurrent sentences, it's like getting 3 or 4 crimes for the price of one. Why would we give a crook a bargain on criminal activity? So it's layering your time on top of your time if you've done a crime. So Mona Van, how long do you think you deserve to be in prison? Hey, what about you, Melissa Wood? How many years do you think you deserve to be in prison? What about you, Melissa Wood? Now, we were talking to Drew Barrymore. I mean, I can't believe that you would sit in the audience and tell her how wonderful of a role model that she is. It's pathetic to watch you women looking for validation from women like Drew Barrymore. That is not the woman of the United States of America. That's the woman of a weak-ass woman who has nothing to offer. Because a real woman wants to hear and talk about shit to actually get shit done. Not spread your legs at Fly Fish Club 2 nights, 3 nights from now while you glorify yourself and tell everyone how gorgeous the place is. Well, everybody looks at you and thinks in their head how much they cannot effing stand you because I literally broke you down to where you will not put your fart stench of filth that you learned from your Iranian Persian bullshit that you also learned from the CIA in Hollywood. Thanks, Ronald Reagan. Defend victims' rights. The right of criminal victims to offer audio and video testimony to be kept on file for future hearings. The right to full restitution. The right to protect from intimidation or threat. How many pictures have you posted for intimidating me and threatening me, Mona Van? And that goes for your whole clan and crew. The right to be notified of court proceedings, the right to be consulted in plea bargains, the right to be in court during trials concerning crimes against them, the right to make a statement during sentencing proceedings, the right to be notified if offenders are released or if they escape from custody, to make certain classes of heinous federal crimes, such as what Mona Van has done, eligible for the death penalty. How many people are following your page? 435,000 and then 1 million on TikTok? I would say that's a pretty heinous crime, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? And let's not forget about who invited you on their yacht and where you've been in front of public eye and what TV shows that you were on. Block grant crime prevention funds to cities and countries so they can use it to fight crime as they see best, not with strings attached by Washington lawmakers and bureaucrats. And let's not forget that Kamala Harris invited Mona Van to the U.S. Capitol, which is on video, where she gloats and promotes herself for clean makeup. So I would say that the government is in some pretty hot fucking water. End federally ordered early releases from prison as a solution to overcrowding. Violent felons should never, ever, ever be unleashed on an innocent public, simply to meet some arbitrary quota. Other solutions to overcrowding must be found, such as contracting with prisons operated by private sector companies, converting closed military barracks, limit death row appeals, limit the rights of prisoners to sue over prison conditions, a time-wasting, money-wasting practice that ties up our courts and prisons with flimsy complaints. Reinstate the idea that prisons are to be no-frills, no-fun detention centers where felons work. They work! You don't get paid, you work. Remember when ABC or NBC put the prisoners and said they deserved to get paid because they were working at McDonald's? That's Kamala Harris. Require the local communities to be notified when offenders, SEX offenders, such as Mona Van. Remember when her and Heather Lamusa were in Miami? That's an offender. For 435,000 people, murderers and kidnappers are not released in the area. How many times has she tried to kidnap my personality? That would be a kidnapping, bitch. And that's the fucking truth. And I literally laid out my own fucking court case once again. Because there's been other shit that I've laid out for y'all. Yet where is my assistance? Where's my government? It's over there inviting you, Mona Van, and Kamala Harris to the fucking White House.